just me and my guitar.
Hey, what's happening guys? It's Mark back here at Mark's Aquatics. Today I thought we'd have a little go at the aquascape because after coming back from holiday we got all the oak leaves there which I put in to feed the shrimp while I was away, which have done a grand job. And we're going to trim back some of that bonsai tree that we made. As you can see, we've got quite a lot of growth there off this one now. The subwazatang side isn't as bad. We can trim some little bits off of there, here and there. And the other tree up in this corner here, we can take a bit more off of there as well. Originally, I put in the JBL Aquascape and volcanic rock. As you can see along the bottom here, we got a fine, quite a thin layer at the front here of the shrimp media. And it's all volcanic rock underneath, and we've got a sand path, believe it or not, which is that bit that you can see there, running all the way along, and there's a little path there that leads up through the rocks into the middle there, which has disappeared because all these little shrimps keep pulling all the little bits around, throwing them around, cleaning them all. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take out the oak leaves, and we are going to trim up the trees, making sure we get some more shape into those. Some of the actual subwazatang and some of the java moss that we put on the bottom of the stone here, that where we made the trees there, has grown quite a bit as well. So we're going to take some of those bits off as well. And then after we've done that, all the bits that we've cut off are going to sink to the bottom. And then what we'll do I'll go in with a bit of a hose pipe, which I've got, a nice clean piece, which I keep for doing this job, and we'll hoover all the bits out. And we'll hoover down through the middle there, removing some of this substrate, because there's quite a lot in amongst the structure there. As I created it, I obviously put some bits in behind, and we made it look a lot more sturdy. Sorry, we made it a lot more sturdy with the for the rocks to sit in there. But I've dug it out from underneath. I've taken the big Amano shrimps out from in here as well. They've put them in the shrimp room, and so really it's just going to be a general tidy up, a bit of a trim up. These yellow sakuras are doing really well in here actually. They're not breeding as well as they were in the shrimp room, but I'm not too concerned about that because I've got hundreds of those guys in the shrimp room, as you know if you watch the other videos, in with the crystal reds, which is originally where these guys came from before I put them in here. But we've still got a few with berries on, which is nice to see, but not as many. The TDS is a little bit higher in this system. It's about, I'd say about 350, because we've got a lot of rock work in here and stuff as well as the volcanic rock. So that tends to push your TDS up. But they're all fine. I've had no losses, touch wood, and everyone's quite healthy. So as I said before, if it's not broken, don't try and fix it. And everyone in here seems to be really happy and doing well. All feeding well. The young are growing up quite well. I still put in the Gemchem, the polytays in here once a week. Turn the pump off, obviously, because it goes behind the tree. There is a grill. I'll show you that later on. But the water goes through the grill into a rear filtration system on this tank. But I've got a very fine bit of sponge over there, so we don't suck all the little shrimp through the grill and they end up in the filter at the back. So we've managed to sort that out. I'll show you that in a while. One thing I will say guys is make sure when you do this sort of work on your aquariums, turn all your pumps off first, make sure everything's switched off, put a towel on the floor. That'll save you a lot of clouts around the ear roll from your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend when they come home and see water all over the carpet. That's always a must. I've learnt that the hard way. And let's crack on with this job. Let's go. Oh, there you go guys, it's all done, looking a bit better now. My god, I look like a possessed man trying to catch a fish with that high speed footage. All the trees now, they got a little bit more shape to them. And the shrimp are settling back in again. Opened up the path, coming up through the middle there. I think what I'm going to do, I've got some of that Zanzibar sand that we made and we put in the light bulb aquarium last time. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the path with that so it will darken it up a bit. Because I've got the yellow sakuras in there, they really pop on the darker substrate then. So I've got a bit here, so you can watch me put this in. This stuff is super fine, it really is. Come on, out of the way, little shrimps. Or you'll be buried. And you literally just pour it on where you want it to go. I think that looks a lot nicer than the white sand that I had in there originally. And pour a little bit more in the back in the path there. Going to get a little bit of clouding. But not to worry, because the filter will soon pull that out. Try not to smash the tank. Right, got this little bit of acrylic rod. I'm just going to move things around. Anything on the plants, just give them a little tap. This stuff's so fine, it just... You can literally just wave that around and it will just blow it out. And like I said before, the shrimp will do your job for you in time. They'll move things around and create little nooks and crannies everywhere and blow it about. I think that'll do. Ah, there you go. That's really opened up that path nice now. I think that grey sand, the grey with the white fleck in it, the old Zanzibar sand looks brilliant. The shrimp's already investigating and they look so much nicer and more yellow with that background than they did with the white substrate, the sand that we had in there before. Water's gone a little bit cloudy, as you can see by the background here, but that's not to worry, that'll soon clear up. The filtration will soon clean that up. I did say before I'd show you guys in the back. That's what our little trees look like from the top. I'm running a little Arcadia lamp on this one, which is pretty good and doing the job nicely, growing the moss. It's not too strong. But that's the rear of the tank. I've got the sponge, two sponges there and one below it, which is the sort of a pre-filter there. And then we got, oh, hang about, I've got the Death Star in the back there. I forgot I left that in there. And we got some alpha grog in that one and the heater. In this, sorry, that was the heater there, yep. With this one, there's a little tiny UV sterilizer which I'd run now and again, just to not to worry now, because the fish, I've taken the endless out. I was going to say that. I'll take you down and we can have a look again in a minute. But there's the other sponges I've just got in there to quieten the pump. And that's the old CO2 line which I used to have running in this system before, but I've taken it out now and I'm using the liquid CO2 fertilizer that you saw me put in earlier, which I find is really good and does the job nicely. We've got lots of little shrimp on the top here where we've cut the tree back. They're nearly out of the water. Some of them actually do come out of the water and then go back in under again. They pick up bits of food. It's quite interesting. Little ramthorn snail there on the side, nice and red. But that's the back system there. That's how that runs. The good little tanks. This was a little marine tank which I had, and I just converted it with the sponge. So obviously that was a surface skimmer there, but we can't have surface skimming going on with these shrimp because they end up going straight through there. Some of the fine stuff does go through. The surface skim does work still, but it doesn't take obviously the bigger bits. They collect around the mouth on the grill, so I've got to manually move them out, which is no worry. But there's the view from the top of the new path. I think that looks quite nice. We've got some more baby tears I've planted everywhere in there now because we took the graminifolia out, because that was, with it being a member of the bladderwort family, it will actually eat baby shrimp. We've got a nice little circulation going there. I actually put that through the bottom, through the tree. I don't know if you can see the pipe work there. Right up there he is. And that's where you just saw some oxygen come out there. It's probably using a little bit more water. I've got to put some water back in the reservoir and top it up in a minute. But everything's looking nice. I like that path. A nice little path through there now. I think what I'll do is I'll set you up. I always like to end with the shrimp on a good note. So what I've got here is one of the old shrimp matches that we made a while back now, which they love. I'm going to stick one of them in the sand and give them a good feed. Like I say, always end up coming out, end on a good note, so they have a good feed at the end of things. So we'll put that in there, and they can go to town on that. And it won't take them long before they find that. I'll zoom in. I'll just dry my hands and I will zoom in on them. And they're onto that already. Give that 10 or 15 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the kitchen now, sort my stuff out, clean up my nets and my... It's a good thing, always remember to clean all your nets up and all the things that you've used in the tank. Disinfect them. If you've got some potassium permanganate, you can always mix a bit of that in with water. That's an amazing disinfectant, because it's bleach, and it will kill anything that's nasty on your nets and any of the stuff that you've used. And you can clean it all off and make sure everything's nice and sterile for the next time you use it, because that's quite important to do stuff like that. People overlook little things like that, just like they do with washing your hands. Everyone thinks, oh my god, I'm going to put my hands in my tank, so I better wash my hands, which is probably the worst thing you can do, because a lot of people I've noticed, I said, what do you do? And they say, oh, I'll go and wash my hands with soap, rinse it, make sure my hands are all nice and clean, and then we go in the tank. But the best thing to do is not use the soap at all. The best thing to do is just run your hands under some water with no detergents of any soaps or anything on at all, because you're going to have minute traces on your skin still, which you're going to introduce into the aquarium, and that's not a good thing. You don't want to be doing stuff like that. So never use soaps when you before you put your hands in your tanks, guys, okay? Because you don't see it, but it will have an impact on your environment. It really will. Yeah, they're starting to tuck into that now. I do like that finer sand. It looks a lot nicer, I think, than the white stuff. Okay guys, there we are. We're all cleaned up. Shrimps are having a good feed. Everyone seems happy. Those poor little ramshorn snails are still trying to make it to the food, but they're I think one of them's getting there. It's taken him 10 minutes to get as far as he's got so far. Anyway guys, as always, you're all stars. Thanks for tuning into this video. Look after yourselves, be safe, and I'll see you on the next edition of Mark's Aquatics. Bye for now.
Just me and my guitar.